Kyle Shanahan is back for his 10th season in San Francisco. Only Andy Reid in Kansas City has been a head coach at his current place for longer than Shanahan. He's tied with McVay in L.A. With the longest tenure. So Shanahan back for his 10th year. And, of course, the last 5 years, San Francisco 49ers have been consistently good. 10 wins, 13 wins, 12. They had the bad year in 24 with only 6 victories. Last year, back to 12 wins and pulled a wild card round upset in Philadelphia before coming short in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. This year, 49ers lined as a 10.5 win team. What should bettors expect from San Francisco? Let's talk about it. Teddy covers WagerTalk.com with the 49ers team preview for 2026. And, this team's had 5 10-win seasons over the last 7 years. All right. They've been consistently good. Clay Kubiak is offensive coordinator. Raheem Morris, now the 5th defense coordinator for San Francisco in the last 5 years. So there hasn't been much continuity on the defense side of football from a schematic standpoint. Robert Saleh, last year's coordinator, is now the Tennessee Titans head coach. San Fran, we think of them as an elite franchise, but it's been 31 seasons since Steve Young's last Super Bowl title in San Francisco. It's been a long time. They've had chances since then. They made big games since then, but they haven't come home with the hardware. So 31 years since the Super Bowl title. And in theory, they have 9 starters back on offense. This was a top 10 offense in yards last year. They were a top 10 offense in points last year. You bring back the Pro Bowler Brock Purdy, who had 104. Purdy's got a 104 QB rating since 2022. That's number 2 in the NFL during that span. He's on a $265 million contract now, though. So the finances of Brock Purdy, very different now than it was when he was legitimate Mr. Irrelevant back when he was drafted. They're paying him now, and that could be a problem. Backup standpoint, they have Mac Jones, and Mac Jones, again, you talk about backup QBs in the NFL that you trust. Mac Jones is one of those guys that went 5-3 with him behind center last year. You make an argument that Mac Jones is the best backup quarterback in the NFL in 2026, certainly one of them. From a skill position standpoint, this team's gotten a little bit old. George Kittle made his 7th Pro Bowl last year. He's on the wrong side of 30. Christian McCaffrey was 4th in MVP voting last year in his age 30 season. He's on the wrong side of 30. McCaffrey had more touches than any other running back in the league last year. And you worry about running backs on the wrong side of 30 who are getting too many touches. I worry about tight ends on the wrong side of 30, like Kittle in that regard. You bring in Mike Evans from Tampa. Mike Evans is banged up already. Ricky Pearsall out for the year for the 49ers, skill position talent. Christian Kirk, not the player that he was a few years back. Skill position, and of course, Brandon Ayuk had contracts to join. The Ayuk situation has not been resolved as I record this video. It looks like he's burned his bridges in San Francisco. I would be very surprised if he takes a snap with the 49ers this season. So from a skill position talent standpoint, the 49ers usually pretty good. This year, I've got my question marks about San Francisco. And of course, the offensive line, only 3.8 yards per carry the last year. They didn't blow open holes for the running backs. They do return 4 starters this year. Trent Williams got re-signed, but Williams is 37, 38 this year? He's a little bit long in the tooth. We'll have to see if he's able to go through a full season healthy and effective. When healthy, he's still been as good as he was when he was 33. But we do start to worry about offensive linemen at Trent Williams' age, absolutely, from a health standpoint. They could be a rookie, 4th round pick, Willis, I say, as the left guard position this year. There's a question mark for that particular status on the offensive line, which is something of a concern. Before we talk about the 49ers defense, I want to talk about my win report. All right. I spent all summer working in NFL. That's what these videos are all about. This is taking the work that I've done over the last 2 months and sharing it with you guys. And over the course of the last 25 years, I've been doing this every summer. And my win report, NFL win report, season wins, 105, 56, and 3. 65% over a 25-year sample size. The big tickets, 17 and 5, 77% over a 25-year sample size. I'm proud of that record. I worked hard on it all summer. And my report's up and available right now at wagertalk.com. My homepage, wt.buzz/TC. It'll get you right there. But don't buy the report. It's a $199 value. All right, that's what we're selling for, $199. If you want to get on board this football season, you get my NFL season win report. You get all the preseason, all the regular season, all the playoffs, all the sides, all the totals, all the props, all the 5%, everything. Super Bowl included, week 1 of the preseason included, nothing more to buy, no bullshit. It's $5.99. Take $50 off, make it $5.49. Teddy50 is your promo code at checkout. Take advantage of that offer. Again, Teddy50 for a full season NFL. Every play from week 1 of the preseason to the Super Bowl, including the win report, $5.49. Promo code Teddy50 at checkout. I'll save Splash Sports for a little later. I want to talk about this Survivor contest with a $21 million guarantee. We'll talk about that before we talk about the 49ers schedule in a few moments. Defensive. This is a really interesting team defensively. It really is for San Fran. They had an NFL low 20 sacks last year. They only had 6 interceptions all year. So when you don't get sacks and you're not picking off passes, in theory, your defense is supposed to get lit up. Now, that's not what happened. The defense is pretty good. And lots of guys coming back from injury. Nick Bosa is coming back from an ACL. Michael Williams coming back from an ACL. Keon White's coming back from an ankle. Alfred Collins coming back from a shoulder. This team was besieged with key injuries a year ago. Fred Warner's coming off injury. Drake Greenlaw's coming back after 1 year in Denver. So lots of guys for the 49ers with injury histories, recent injury histories, injury concerns. And again, 5 defense coordinators the last 5 years. There's not a lot of continuity on this defense for San Fran, which is something of a concern. I can't say I love this secondary. I can't say I love this defense. I really don't. And we talk about San Fran schedule-wise. They're going to travel 38,000 miles this year. The only team that plays 2 international games, one of which is Australia week 1, which, by the way, they're going to Australia that day, and then their game plan is we're going to fly in, play the game with our adrenaline, and then fly back and be tired afterwards, which makes sense. That being said, there could be lingering effects from that down the line. And, of course, they play in Mexico City as well. So they have 2 international games this season, 38,000 travel miles. From a statistical standpoint last year, they were bottom 5 in yards per carry. They were number 1 in most cap space. And they were number 3 in easiest schedule a year ago. So that's why we're seeing San Fran making moves like they have in recent weeks in order to shore up that receiving core. In theory, San Fran desperate to win now, but a team that has a little bit long in the tooth in a lot of circumstances. Last year's schedule, very easy, based on my powering numbers. Again, I have my powering numbers the week the game was played. So you're not getting end of the season numbers for teams that were good and then were bad. You're getting the real numbers for that week. It's the 3rd easiest schedule in the league. So San Fran had it easy last year. Won't be quite as easy this year for the 49ers. NFC West play AFC West and NFC East. They got a couple trips back east. 3rd extra game's not that bad. They have Miami, Atlanta, and Minnesota. Not a murderous row for the 49ers in that regard. All that said, I look at San Fran as a team that is not, I don't have the arrow pointed upward. They were great last year. They overachieved last year despite all the injuries they had. The fact that coming to training camp and the injury barrage has started again for the 49ers, the fact that they haven't drafted well. I mean, the last 3 drafts, they really don't have a whole lot to show for it. They didn't have a number 1 draft choice this season. They're getting a little bit older. And when the impact players don't come in the way you hope they will, even teams with a lot of skill position talent like the 49ers can get a little bit long in the tooth. Will San Fran make my 2026 NFL win total report? Check out the report. Find out. wt.buzz/TC if San Fran makes that list or not. 5 plays on part 1 of the report. Part 2 will come out after week 3 of the preseason. You'll get that for free, obviously, if you're already on board. Lean under for San Fran. This is not a team that I'm bullish on headed into 2026. Did I make the report? Check it out, wt.buzz/TC. Check out all my plays at wagertalk.com. And boy, thank you for your support. We appreciate the comments, the likes, and the follows. Best of luck with all your bets this season, and stay tuned right here on this channel for more NFL team preview videos powered by Wager Talk. Cheers.